Good evening, everyone. This is Samu from Samu Racing. Um, I want to talk about why I love driving. In particular, driving a car through a corner, right? That feeling you get of just the way it feels, right? Like, just like how with anything you love to do, when asked to describe why you like it, you just like it, right? You just like the way it feels. And that's what I love about racing. It's the way it feels when you feel the car and you just feel it doing its thing and just imagining everything working, doing its thing, the chassis flexing, the tires adhesion to the road, taking it through its optimum trajectory with its momentum. It's just a beautiful thing, right? I don't know how to describe it. It's like anything. You can appreciate it at a very fine level. It's just the best thing ever. Like to see the rotation with just the right angle, not too much rotation. We call that zero counter. It's when the car is turning and it's actually sliding, but to the untrained eye, you won't be able to tell unless you're really familiar with the dynamics of a car, the way it transfers weight and the way it slides around. And when you just like see it flowing like gliding through a corner in its optimum trajectory at its optimum speed, just at the bringing out the full potential of the vehicle, of this engineering, of this, right? Like it's beautiful. It's a sport. It's an art. It's by getting good at it, you're bringing that ideal vision down and manifesting it, right? Like it's magical. It's something you can always get better at. The professional squeeze for those last few tenths of a second, and it's really something when like the how far people go to. I'm not saying as far as doing crazy stuff. I'm saying like as far as refining the setup, refining their skills, thinking about how the lines of the data. There's a lot to racing, and it's not just the skill. There's strategy. There's ah Initial D. I love Initial D. That's what got me into. I mean, I already loved cars, but that's what joined everything together. And I'm like, wow, this is. I love cars, and there's this whole new world of toge racing and drifting. Wow, and I've always been a fan of Japanese stuff, so it's like all my favorite things combined. And besides, not many people race. Let's be honest. Like, I would say this is the most misunderstood sport. Like, 95% of people you say I race, and they're like, yeah, for the people who know it, like they say it's not their fault. I mean, it's just not a well-known sport, right? People often always ask, "Oh, how fast do you go?" Right? Well, of course, it depends on the racetrack, which part of the racetrack, what's your setup, which car you have, what's your skill level, what's the max potential through the corner. Then maybe you can give it speed, but yeah. So that's what Samurai Racing is about. It's so people get a glimpse into the world of motorsports, and if you have that car you've always wanted that you thought looked nice, and there's something you like about it, and something to the sport of driving fast that excites you. I mean, how can you not be excited? Tire screeching, the smell of clutch and rubber, and I don't know, brakes. Well, maybe not the smell, but the sensation, right? The sensation, the sights and sounds. Like such an awesome machine. Like, that engineering is so sexy, and it's being brought to its full potential, and it can only be done so through skill of another human being. That's a magical thing. It's like man and machine. It's all about becoming one. And Jinba Itai, that's Mazda's slogan that I love. It represents the connection between the rider and the horse, right? You have that connection almost spiritual connection, right? Like you feel one with not just the car, you're one with the road, you're one with the mountain, like you're just flowing at the max potential. Like it's a beautiful thing. You're in the state of flow. You're not forcing it, you know. You see in movies all the time, it's like they're forcing it to go faster. No. It's a lot of finesse. It's very sensitive, delicate, smooth, like a lot of nuances that only a really skilled driver can pick up. Like when the weight transfers and there's that moment when it's about to shift back and transition into another slide, or if it's the feeling of the slip angle when you turn, you know, a lot of inexperienced drivers, the car's not turning and they turn more. Well, you're just increasing the front slip angle and you're just making that understeer worse, right? So like I could put more in depth into car handling, anything you want to know about basics of racing. Um, and of course this video is about why I love it so much. I first watched Initial D in 2004, maybe around that time. Yeah, it's a long time ago. I think that's 16 years, maybe. Yeah. So I've been into racing for a while. I've been tracking my cars since 2008. Yeah, my first car, S2000 AP1, year 2000. I drove a lot of race sims before getting that car, so I already knew how, you know, the basics of handling. So I jumped straight into my first event, a drifting vet at Mineral Wells, Texas, and I just did everything I would do in the sim, you know, because it all made sense. I did my research, I knew how car handling works, and I did pretty good. I got the car sideways, I was able to maintain it, I was able to get enough speed and momentum to go through that whole turn, you know, maintain my angle with, you know, car control. So I really recommend sims if you take it seriously, like, but only if you use a good sim, right? You don't want to take a bad sim seriously and you're just gonna pick up all these bad habits. So a really good sim is Live for Speed. I might do some more videos on it. Um, but yeah, I've been driving that thing since 2004, about the same time I got into Initial D. So it was like the perfect. I would, you know, try to learn the secret art of drifting on my own, and at the same time watch Initial D. So I was like, oh, I was just so into it. You know, just the idea of a car late at night, all quiet. It's like you hear this awesome sound, you know, getting closer and closer, getting more and more intense, and you hear, yeah, it's just something magical about a machine taken to its limit, being driven the way it's supposed to be driven by another human. It's magical. And to share this love for this sport, right? Some might say it's a dying sport. And that's so sad because it's like one of the most exciting things you can do. Everybody talks about skydiving, theme parks. What about racing? Like everybody drives and they take it for granted. I think that's the issue. So many people drive where they think they know what driving is like. They think they know what their car's capable of. Oh no, wait till you sit into a race car. Right? Like, go out and experience. That's that's maybe why it's a dying sport. Only people who are into it, you know, do it, and they don't try to share it. Like, well, I guess you can't be too pushy, but I mean, I think it's worthy of some promotion, like of the sport. It's I highly recommend people who, you know, just have the slightest curiosity to give it a shot. If they don't know how to start, you know, ask me questions. That's what I'm here for. There's a lot of good options. Autocross, you know, not supposed to do it, but on what days, if the conditions are safe, you can do some experimentation, you know. But racing sims, very good one. Yeah, there's a lot of good ways to pick up skills, car handling. A lot of legal events you can go to, you know, drift days, drift clinics, really good instructors. Of course, just watching YouTube videos, just studying, you know, watching how the more advanced drivers handle the car, and but of course you eventually have to feel it for yourself because yeah, it's something that's what's so cool about this sport. It's a participation sport. See, you see, only the drivers who have driven to the limit of a car and know how to balance it on the knife edge of balance can appreciate that, right? Like, so you have to. Maybe that's why it's a dying sport, and there's money involved and all this. That's why sim racing is awesome, and of course you don't feel intense G-forces, which is a huge part of the experience. I mean, call them G-force junkies. Yeah. Oh, I love that feeling. Oh, it's just that's what makes driving so fun. You feel like you're part of this. Remember I mentioned this scene where the car was going through at its optimum trajectory and whatever, and you're part of that, right? Like you're fully in control. You have to visualize it first before you can drive that line. You have to first literally visualize it mentally. If you're not in control. You're reacting to the car. See? So real driving, like real performance driving at a really high level, you have to visualize. And that visualizing is all. That's what I love about it. Like it's not just the physical aspect. It's the mental, the inner. There's so much to the sport, right? Just with the equipment, you have a whole world. You have the tires, the spring, the dampers, the sway bars, the camber, the engine. The engine is its own whole world, right? Like you have dyno tuning, mappings, and internals, boosts, whatever. But you see, like it's awesome. Like if more people could get a chance to see what it's like, and that's what this channel's for. So let me know what you guys want to see. All I have is a Honda Fit, but I feel like I can take this thing somewhere. Maybe I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but all I know is I'm here to share the experience of driving, the joy of driving, the excitement of driving, and I want to inspire people to do what they love and to follow their vision. That's what this project is about. It's about being a free spirit and just living your life to the fullest without any fear. Yeah, it's basically equivalent of racing, right? You're taking it to the max. You're taking something to, and just the thought of that, like you're freaking taking it to the limit and a little bit on beyond. You're on the edge, right? Like, it's beautiful. Like if you watch a really skilled driver just rotate the car perfectly, hit the apex, go slide out, just the right amount of momentum, and pull down the straight, and wow, and brake. It's a beautiful thing. You see the car brake, all the weight. Imagine all the weight transfer in the front with some rotation. Like it's beautiful. It's a fine art. It's art. You're literally imagining and manifesting. It's like it's beautiful. Yeah. So hopefully this video helps people learn how to appreciate the sport. The next time you watch a driver driving a racetrack, or you hear people, and of course there's practical use. So you're a much safer driver if you know how to control your car, if you know threshold braking, if you know just the basics of what happens when you brake, what happens when you stop. People take the driving test and it's all traffic laws, and it's nothing about car control, nothing about the safe limit where your car is capable of, and stuff like that. So, I could do videos on those too. Like so much we can do. So let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Good evening.